Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. We discussed Trump's recent short circuits, including the time he didn't know where he was. Plus, Dean Phillips and Steve Schmidt plan to weaken Biden. Good and bad news on gerrymandering and much more. So let's, first of all, let's talk about all that. Because thank God the New York Times is finally doing a piece on, oh, holy crap, Donald Trump is senile. And, you know, you thought you were taking crazy pills, right? That they keep doing the same story about Biden, who seems completely fine, and Trump, who is clearly, I don't even know what to call that, right?
Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump's been doing this for a while. They're just becoming more frequent, and I have to say, more hilarious.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, what we talk about when we're talking about Donald Trump short-circuiting is when he says the wrong word, and then in reaction to saying the wrong word, like most recently he said, instead of saying pro-terrorism, he said pro-turd. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to say that on the radio?
You are. It's done now, Bob. Let's just leave it in the past.
I myself am anti-turd. He may be pro-turd. I'm anti-turd because that's just the way I roll. But you know what?
You tweeted about this, and I said this exact thing to Trump, or to Trump. Oh God, to Chris yesterday. Remember?
What the hell did I do to you?
I said exactly what you said, Bob, because I don't know where I begin and you end. But when you said he blurts the wrong word or phrase, physically convulses, and then pulls an I meant to do that by awkwardly struggling to justify the gaffe. That's what I said. Yeah. He does that like this is what it's like when you trip up the stairs, right?
Yeah. I mean, the best one is when he was talking, I don't know, I think he was talking about instant replays in sports. And he referred to them as magnified fortune, a fashionable magnified tape.
Yes.
And that's his retcon, his correction of his gaffe was a fashionable magnified tape, which I've heard so many sportscasters say that, by the way. Let's go to the fashionable magnified tape and see if that call was an accurate one.
As you know, we've been mixing bodily show fluid since 1904, and you sent this to us. Hang on.
And it's like baseball now and football. They do action replays in magnified fortune. They have a fashionable magnified tape, and you can see just about everything.
What?
It's a sad thing. I think they have cases where they had the same one 3 times.
This was like, how long ago was this? Was like a while ago.
Yeah.
That was just, it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't even yesterday.
I love that he was talking about instant replays as though they're sad. It's so sad when the referees have to go to an instant replay. I know so many sports fans. Yeah. But I mean, the best part is when he he physically convulses in reaction to doing that. It's unbelievable. It's like there's a record rip in his head. Like someone just scraped that needle right across like a 12-inch single. It's like a really long rip.
When we started DJing in the 80s, like, oh, I hit the turntable. Uh-oh.
That's right. And then when he said the most recent one, where he was talking about pro-turd, his retcon
I'm sorry, Trump was trying to say something. Hang on 1 second. Wait, hang on. Yeah, hang on. Okay, all right, go ahead.
That's it. And then he goes, and then he leans into the microphone with his eyes as big as saucers, and he goes, "What you doing?" And I said, he's just given up fixing the mistake now. He's just shouting weird questions like, "What you doing?"
And he also, like, what does it everybody say? He's like a dumb person's idea of a smart person.
Yes.
He says everything so authoritatively, you know. Orban, who is the leader of Turkey, who is absolutely not the leader. It's just like, wait, do we have, they did a screw up montage. Is this for Morning Joe? Hang on. Let's
14?
Yes.
Here we go.
Does that mean that if Russia attacks my country, you will not be there? That's right. That's what it means. I will not protect you. Viktor Orban. Did anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. He's the leader of, He's the leader of Turkey. He's a very strong man, as you know, from Hungary. And he's the boss. There's no doubt about it. Hungary fronts on both Ukraine and Russia.
No.
If you spill a drop of American blood, we will spill a gallon of yours. You know, Hezbollah is very smart. They're all very smart. Hezbollah and Hamas. Hamas. Has anyone ever heard of Hamas? Hamas terrorists.
He's always the first one that's heard of anything. Have you ever heard of hummus?
I came up with the name hummus. That's my new name. He's going to brand that. He's going to be selling T-shirts to the suckers with hummus on it. Oh, God. Yeah, unbelievable. And he wants to be our latex salesman. It's ridiculous, this guy. It just keeps happening and happening. And then he didn't know what town he was in.
No.
He thought he was in Sioux Falls, and it turned out he was in Sioux City. Sioux Falls, of course, is in South Dakota, which is a completely different state.
Very excited to be here and run around Sioux.
Is that one of the many Siouxs? I was, okay. so many towns named Sioux. It's so sad. It's so sad, the number of towns
Let it hear
with Sioux.
A boy named Sue.
Sue everybody. I'm going to sue the town of Sioux Falls for not coming up with a clearer name right
Sioux
next
City.
door to a town called Sioux City. Sioux City should sue Sioux Falls. Also, Sioux Studio is my favorite Phil Collins song. Wonderful, wonderful pop single from the 1980s.
We would like to hear more. Let's hear some more.
Yeah.
I want a shield over our country. If you don't like our religion, then we don't want you in our country, and you are not getting in. What happened yesterday was incredible. I mean, so many people killed. Very big number. Very, very big number. And vicious, too. Vicious. Young children just slaughtered. It's terrible what's going on.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. Did we miss the part of I want to build a shield over our country? Is that the new wall? We're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it? I assume Space Force is going to pay for the shield over the entire country?
Oh, my God. I'm going back to what did he say? A very powerful number of casualties it's very you know what? If I'm going to have casualties, I got to make sure they're strong casualties. We got to have the greatest casualties, the best casualties. I have the best casualties.
Okay.
God damn. What an awful man. What an awful, stupid, idiot, dum-dum. Oh, my God. Please rid us of this guy at some point.
Please. This, by the way, what was I going to say? This headline will make you happy. Trump attacks judge in unhinged 2 a.m. Truth Social post hours before Don Jr. is set to testify. Leave my children alone! You know,
you gotta hand it to Lawrence O'Donnell, who's one of the greatest Trump trolls in the history of Trump trolls. Because last night, Lawrence was going through like the whole history of what it means to have insomnia.
Yeah.
Where he's got like he's got the diagnostic manual out.
There's a 4 a.m.
going through. Yes, here's what it does to your brain when you've got insomnia, and therefore this is what's happening to Donald Trump's worm-infested brain.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's so it's Don Jr. and Eric's day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Trump is Monday, and then Ivanka for some reason got moved to next week after Trump. Whatever.
Was it Don? I thought Don Jr. was today.
Yeah, today.
And also, I thought Don Jr. was on coke, but Don Jr. is yeah.
No, today. Yes, he's
okay today.
I already said I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't blow it. What?
Allegedly.
Huh? Allegedly blow it.
Well, he's saying it. I mean,
Don Jr.
I guess it's a loophole. He's saying it.
Right.
Well, I guess we can go with that. Even though it's sarcastic.
I love when you point out the random
of right-wing hypocrites.
Kevin McCarthy said, I can tell you with clarity and conviction government isn't the answer, government is the problem. And you said Kevin McCarthy has been an employee of the federal government for nearly 17 years. Government salary, government health insurance, hopefully soon a recipient of a government pension. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
It's staggering the lack of self-awareness among these people. Like, they're standing in the middle of the halls of Congress.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy was the leader of 1/2 of the federal government for, well, not an entire year, but of course he was there. And as I said, he was a member of Congress for 17 years. Before that, he was a member of the California State Assembly. This guy is a creature of government. His entire adult life has been as a member of one government or another. In the case of California, a very large government as states go, and then the United States, I mean, just an enormous government. But we gotta, it's one of those things where I think they wind themselves into this anti-government posture, and they don't realize, oh my God, wait a minute, where am I standing? Here I am in the United States Capitol, which is part of the government.